what you've been through, girl. 너를 믿기 힘들다는 girl. 아직 잊지 못했다는 girl. I can tell from your eyes you don't trust me. I got everything you're missing, girl. Yeah, girl. We can make plans for the weekend. 내일 보러 와, my baby. 걱정하지 마, my love.
You woke up with a pounding headache, the kind that felt like a jackhammer had taken residence in your skull. Groaning, you squinted at your surroundings, blinking several times to bring the room into focus. This wasn't your room. The sheets were silk, the decor unfamiliar, and there was a distinct, masculine musk in the air that made your stomach churn with unease. Panic started to creep in when you noticed the scattered clothes on the floor. Your clothes. Pieces of your outfit were mixed with. Oh no! You clutched the blanket tighter to your chest as realization hit you like a freight train. You were under the covers. A flash of last night's events flickered in your mind, but it was hazy, disjointed, like a puzzle with too many missing pieces. What the did I do? You whispered to yourself. You turned your head cautiously, and there he was, the last person you ever expected to see in such an setting. Your mortal enemy, Jimin, D of your existence, was next to you, his hair tousled and his face smug even in his sleep. You let out a small scream, scrambling to get off the bed. But the moment your feet hit the floor, your legs gave out beneath you. You fell to the ground with an undignified thud, wincing at the soreness that radiated through your. A deep chuckle came from the bed, smooth and amused. I did you good, huh? His morning voice, dripping with satisfaction. Your face as you whipped your head around to glare at him. Please tell me we didn't. He stretched lazily, his muscles flexing in a way that only served to irritate you further. Oh, we did, love, he said, sitting up and leaning casually against the headboard. And judging by how you can't even stand, I'd say it was quite memorable. You groaned, burying your face in your hands. My life. That's not what you said last night. He, a smirk tugging at his. In fact, I believe your exact words were, don't stop, and more. Oh my God, you snapped, throwing a pillow at him. He caught it effortlessly, laughing at your. Don't try to cover up, he said, his eyes gleaming with mischief as they flickered to the blanket you clutched tightly around you. I've already seen everything. You hissed, your cheeks, then the sun. Funny, that's not what you said last night either, he quipped, leaning forward to rest his elbows on his knees. Actually, how about we go for. Your head snapped up, your eyes narrowing. Absolutely not. Or wait, he mused, tapping his chin thoughtfully. Actually, it would be 7. 7? You screeched, your voice breaking. His grin widened. Oh, don't act so surprised. You were quite enthusiastic. I'm going to. You growled, pushing yourself to your feet despite the wobbliness in your legs. You grabbed the nearest piece of clothing, his shirt, apparently, and threw it on. It hung loosely on you, but it was better than nothing. He stood up as well, completely unbothered by his, and strolled over to you. You backed up instinctively, your back hitting the wall as he closed the distance between you. Relax, love, he said softly, his tone suddenly shifting to something almost tender. His fingers brushed a stray strand of hair from your face, and for a moment you were too stunned to react. You don't need to be so dramatic. It's not like you didn't enjoy yourself. That's not the point, you snapped, regaining your composure. This shouldn't have happened. We, each other. Do we? He asked, tilting his head as he studied you. Because last night didn't feel like to me. You opened your mouth to retort, but no words came out. He smirked at your silence, leaning in closer until his were just inches from yours. Face it, he murmured, his voice low, and you can deny it all you want, but there's something between us, and it's not going away. Get over yourself, you, back, pushing past him and heading for the door. This was a mistake, a huge, massive mistake. If that's what helps you sleep at night, he called after you, his tone with amusement. As you slammed the door behind you, your heart pounded in your chest, whether it was from anger, embarrassment, or something else entirely, you weren't sure. One thing was certain, though, your life had just become a whole lot more complicated. The soft hum of conversation filled the room as you walked into the upscale gallery, your heels clicking against the polished floor. You weren't here for the art, though the abstract paintings lining the walls were stunning. No, you were here because of him. You'd managed to avoid him for weeks, throwing yourself into work and ignoring his smug texts that ranged from to downright, but tonight you couldn't run. A mutual friend's gallery opening was too important to miss, and of course he'd be here too. You spotted him almost immediately, dressed in a sleek black suit that fit him too well for your peace of mind. He stood near a painting, surrounded by a small group of admirers. His laugh carried across the room, rich and magnetic. And you, how it made your stomach flip. As if sensing your presence, his head turned, and his eyes locked onto yours. His smirk appeared instantly, the kind that promised trouble. Great, you muttered under your breath, downing a glass of drink from a passing server before making your way toward the farthest corner of the gallery. Running again, his voice smooth and stopped you in your tracks. You turned slowly, schooling your features into indifference. I'm not running, I'm admiring the art. He raised an eyebrow, clearly not buying it. Sure, you are. That blank wall is very inspiring. You flushed, realizing too late that you were indeed staring at an empty section of the gallery. What do you want? Just to talk, he said, his tone softer than you expected. He stepped closer, his gaze searching yours. We left things unresolved. There's nothing to resolve, you said quickly. Your defense is up. It was one night. It didn't mean anything. He tilted his head, a faint smile playing on his. You're a terrible liar. You opened your mouth to argue, but his voice lowering. I haven't stopped thinking about you, about us. There is no us, you said, though the words felt hollow even as you spoke them. He stepped closer, his presence overwhelming. You keep saying that, but that night wasn't a mistake. You're scared, and I get it. I'm not exactly the easiest person to get along with. That's the understatement of the century, you muttered, earning a soft chuckle from him. But I'm serious about you, he continued, his expression earnest now. And I think, deep down, you feel the same. You hesitated, your heart battling your head. The past 2 months had been a whirlwind of emotions, confusion, and just longing. Despite everything, you couldn't deny that he'd his way into your thoughts more times than you cared to admit. Finally, you sighed, meeting his gaze. And yet, you're still here, he said, his grin returning. Before you could second-guess yourself, you closed the distance between you, pulling him into a that was equal parts frustration and passion. His arms wrapped around you instantly, holding you close as the world around you melted away. When you finally pulled back, breathless, he smirked down at you. So, not a mistake, you muttered, but the small smile on your betrayed you. He laughed, another, to your forehead. I'll take that as a yes. And for the first time in weeks, you allowed yourself to stop running and let your heart lead the way.
생각하다 잠지 Spitlight, reload my ego Spitlight, reload fellas 이건